Before we dive into the fascinating world of Godzilla and his monstrous friends, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button to stay up to date, and feel free to begin with all the latest news and updates. As a longtime fan of these colossal creatures, I often find myself wondering what would happen if Godzilla, Kong, and their friends were to face off against three formidable foes in a three-on-three battle. With the idea of witnessing such a spectacle in the modern era is nothing short of exhilarating. The Monsterverse has already hinted at the possibility of a three-on-three battle in the future, and it's not hard to see why. With each installment, the franchise has upped the ante, introducing new and exciting monsters to the mix. For instance, Godzilla versus Kong ended with a one-on-two battle, and then Godzilla x Kong's ending saw the two engage in a tag team fight with Shimo and Scar, and the message to Studge to the most obvious direction to take the franchise after that would be a three-on-one matchup with Godzilla and Kong once again being the heroes. And one of the most compelling possibilities for Rodan's return is reminiscent of a concept Toho had for one of their kaiju 52 years ago. And if realized, this idea could have made for an electrifying movie, but sadly, it never came to fruition. However, the Monsterverse could potentially benefit greatly if it were to capitalize on one of the initial plans for Godzilla versus Gigan. Back in the day, the monster duo of Godzilla and Rodan were quite famous. They joined forces with Mothra to defeat Ghidorah in Ghidorah, the three-headed monster, and later had a rematch against Ghidorah in Invasion of Astro Monster. Rodan also appeared as one of Godzilla's allies in Destroy All Monsters. However, they didn't team up again during the Showa era. Toho Studios instead paired Godzilla with Jet Jaguar, King Caesar, and Anguirus. But in the early 1970s, Toho Studios planned another collaboration between Godzilla and Rodan, which was conceptualized as the return of King Ghidorah. As stated in the big book of Japanese giant monster movies, The Lost Films, by John LeMay, Rodan was one of the two monsters who joined forces with Godzilla in a script named The Return of King Ghidorah. Much like in Invasion of Astro Monster and Ghidorah, the three-headed monster, Godzilla and Rodan were tasked with safeguarding Earth from Ghidorah. However, unlike the previous tales, this film wasn't a mere retelling, as it introduced a larger scale conflict by introducing three additional monsters. Brawn was incorporated into the team of Godzilla and Rodan, while Mogu and Gigan were paired with Ghidorah in a space-themed adventure. Originally, the narrative was intended to feature an epic three-on-three battle between monsters like Rodan, Varan, Mogu, Godzilla, Gigan, and Ghidorah. But due to financial constraints, the script underwent significant changes, resulting in a revised matchup that only included Godzilla, Gigan, and Ghidorah. Anguirus was later added to team up with Godzilla, transforming the central conflict into a two-on-two fight. The final movie, titled Godzilla vs. Gigan, delivered an exciting climactic battle, but its creation process suggests that it could have been even more spectacular and entertaining than what it was ultimately presented. uh, Rodan's return could involve a 3-on-3 battle where he joins forces with Godzilla and Kong against three MonsterVerse villains. Not only does the prospect of a 3-on-3 monster fight sound appealing, but it fits with the current direction of the MonsterVerse. The MonsterVerse already has an easy way to bring back Rodan. Godzilla could call him out of hibernation. Uh, Given that Godzilla, King of the Monsters, hinted at Rodan's future inclination to aid Godzilla, his kneeling before Godzilla signified his acceptance of Godzilla as the leader among Titans. Assuming he avoids the same downfall that led to Cella's demise in Godzilla X Kong, Rodan should be ready to join forces with Godzilla in future battles. Uh, Rodan returned to hibernation before Godzilla versus Kong, but could easily be awakened by a war from the Alpha in the sequel. If Godzilla and Kong are put in a perilous situation, that's all it may take to secure the required help against the MonsterVerse's next villains. And on that note, why did the kaiju go to therapy? Uh, because it had a lot of monster issues. Um, with that said, thanks for watching. And until next time,